Sadly for you people, we live next to the United States of America. The only reason I say it sadly is it's because we have to fill our heads with two systems of measurement because we are attached to the United States. There are 3 countries in the world that cannot pull their heads out of their country's butts and recognize that the imperial system is absolutely idiotic. Those 3 countries are the United States, super powerful country, so they get to do what they want, and then the other super powerful countries of Liberia, which none of you even know where it is, and Myanmar, which also some of you may know where Myanmar is because it's right beside India and China, and we know a lot about Asia in this part of the world. Liberia is on the west coast of Africa. It is about that big. Those 3 countries, out of all 192 countries in the world, are the only countries that insist on using the imperial system. Sadly, we are attached to the Americans, so we have to learn it too. When do we use the imperial system? We use the imperial system in really only nowadays in 2 ways. We give our heights still in feet and inches. We give our weight in pounds. And we do most of our construction, for some strange reason, we do with the imperial system. We still talk about the square footage of a house, getting an 8-foot 2x4. All that is imperial. And I don't know why. Everywhere else in the world, they don't do that. If you go to Europe and build a house, they don't talk about the square footage of the house. They talk about the square meterage of the house. And I assume it is like that everywhere else. I have only been to Europe and South America, and in both of those places, they talk about square meterages. Okay? Well, what else would you say? You say square footage. Why wouldn't you say square meterage? No one says it here because we don't use square meters for anything. We still talk about square feet. But if we were in... Also, trick question, what province in Canada would not use height and weight imperial? Quebec. Yeah, if you go meet someone from Quebec, you say, how tall are you? They say, 172 centimeter. And you're like, what is that in real measurements? And they're like, how tall are you? And you say, I'm 5'6". And they say, what is that in real measurement? Huh? My French accent is bad. Why you got to be that way? Let's hear yours. Oh, yeah, all of a sudden, big talker, eh, Jesse? Yeah. And no, Yoda would have said, how tall? How are you? So there. Now I'm all embarrassed. Not really. I'm okay. The imperial system is stupid. Why? What is it based on? Somebody knows their history. Jordan? Absolutely. It is based on some guy's foot, which is kind of true. Who was the guy whose foot it was based on? Whoever was in charge at that particular time. So when there was a giant king like Shaquille O'Neal, feet were small. I was 4 feet tall. When there was a tiny king, I was 8 feet tall. Does that make any sense? Of course not. It's idiotic. So it is based upon a foot and other body parts. For example, we like to... What is inch in French? Does anyone know? No. It is not inch. It is not onch. It's pouce. Thumb. Yes. It is based on body parts, which is, of course, stupid because body parts differ in size. And we still use some body parts to measure things. Does anybody know of another body part that we use to measure things? Hannah? Hands to measure horses. That's what I was going for. Which is real useful if you have tiny little hands. My horse is 46 hands tall. And you're like, my God, your horse is an elephant. And then along comes Shaquille O'Neal who says, your horse is 3 hands tall. It's like, my God, your horse is a Shetland pony. No, it's dumb. It's a dumb system, but we're stuck with it because we're attached to them. Because, you want to know what's funny, Manru? You want to know what's funny? What's the most important thing in the United States, do you think? More important than money. Where do they spend all their money? No, they aren't spending their money on a wall. That's why there's a shutdown. Military. The military is where their trillions of dollars go. And you know what? The military uses metric. Because the military has to fight elsewhere where they all use metric. Anyways, the other system, which is the good system, we call the metric system, but it's not really called the metric system because we use the metric system to do more than measure meters. We measure weight, we measure distances, we measure volume, all temperature with the metric system. So it's not actually the metric system. What it's really called is the Système, with an accent grave, International. And there are no accents in International. Or the SI system. We call it the metric system because it is based indeed in distance on the meter. Everybody, this is your first homework question. When I finish the question and my voice goes up at the end, you know how questions do that? You know how questions do that, right? When my voice goes up at the end, all of you are going to scream an answer. The answer you are going to scream is wrong. Do not say it out loud, and some of you will still say it. Your first piece of homework is to tell me how long is a meter. See, I said not to say the thing that you were going to say. Okay, that's the wrong answer. Okay, that's your homework. Tonight, you are to find out. No, you cannot right now. It is what kind of work, Jessica? Homework. There will be a 5 gummy bear prize to the person with the right answer. Now, how long is a meter? Okay, so the metric system is based on 10. What else is based on 10? How we count. So it makes sense to base how we measure things on how we count. Everything in metric is divided by or multiplied by 10. And we get some fun little names for it. You all know them because you know how to measure stuff and you all have phones. That's why you know these prefixes. The prefixes that we use in Canada are milli, centi, and kilo. For measuring. When we get into data, you know a couple more. What's the next one after kilo? Mega, then giga, then tera. Does anybody know the next one? Huh? I think it's peta. But I can't remember because I don't care to count that high. Those are the ones we use in Canada. But there are more. Oh, she's back. Everybody get your sheets out. You're going to have fun marking these ones. Hazel. Because we're attached to America. We're stuck with it. We can't break the habit. So, what are these guys? All of them. They are units. In which measurement system, Priya? SI. And these are what? Distances, volumes, weights. What are they? Distances. Now, the nice thing about SI is it doesn't matter if you're doing weight. No problem. Volume, distance, doesn't matter. It all follows the same rules no matter what, which is why it's a better system. These, you will notice, are in the four that we use in Canada. Okay? We use milli. We use centi. We have no prefix there. And we use kilo. Now, since they're all based on 10, and the Système International was invented in France during the French Revolution, all of these words have to do with French. Milli, you've all taken enough French to know that means 1/1000th. Mil. Centi means 1/100th. Kilo means 1,000. Now, you are intelligent young people. As a matter of fact, you are the best and brightest in math in our entire school. You should be noticing the fact that if this is based on 10 and everything is multiplied or divided by 10, you should see that 1,000 divides to get to 100. But then we go from 100 to the base. Something's missing there, isn't there? What's missing? The 1/10th one. 1/10th is deci. We don't use that measurement in Canada very often. It's 10 centimeters long. It's a decimeter. They do use it in other places. We tend to not use it very much. Now, again, you're intelligent young people. We've gone from 1 to 1,000. How many steps are missing there? 1 to 1,000? 2. I'm missing the 1 to 10, 10 times bigger, which is deca, like decade, 10 years. And then the next one is 100 times bigger, which is hecto. And we actually do use hecto in Canada. You hear it all summer while BC is on fire. How do they use it? Hectares. A hectare is a unit of area that is 100 meters long by 100 meters wide. So that's when we use deca and hecto. And like I say, the nice thing about metric, the SI system, is it doesn't matter what you are measuring in. They all follow the same rules. If you're weighing something, the same milli, centi, deci, deca, hecto, and kilo work with weights, volumes, distances, everything. Now, I would like to make sure everybody exactly can do this, so we're going to do it real easy like here. In the middle, I have meters, which is the base for measurement. If I had 1,536 meters, how many decameters do I have? I divide by 10. So this would be 153.6. How many hectometers do I have? 15.36. And how many kilometers do I have? 1.536. What if I go the other way? How many decimeters do I have? 15,360. How many centimeters do I have? 153,600. And how many millimeters do I have? 1,536,000. And if we want to get crazy, we could go down to micrometers, nanometers, and picometers, but we're not going to do that because it's just adding zeros. Everybody understand? So what if I told you I had 1,536 grams? Would anything change? It wouldn't be DAM. What would it be? DAG. It wouldn't be HM, it would be what? HG. It wouldn't be KM, it would be what? KG. It wouldn't matter. Does everybody understand? If I had liters, it would be decaliters, hectoliters, kiloliters. Everybody cool? If aliens come down from space and say, we measure people in kreplocks, then you would say, oh, okay, so 10 kreplocks is a decakreplok. Everybody understand? Good. That makes me so happy. Usually that takes longer. So, the relationship we've already talked about. Milli is 1/1000th of the base. Centi is 1/100th of the base. The base is the base, so it is one base. And kilo is 1,000 of the base. Now, I've got this word right here. What word do you see in that word? Refer. What does it mean to refer to something? To check it based on something else. Absolutely right. Okay, so what then must a referent be? Go ahead. The thing that you are checking. Absolutely right. Now, we all know if we picked up a ruler, we could all look at it and say, oh, I know how long a millimeter is. If you do not have a ruler, what is something you could use as a referent for the length of a millimeter? This is very fun for me. I'm going somewhere with this, trust me. And it's 2:13. I hope we get there. Yeah, what's a millimeter? Yes, say it, Jessica. Say it. Say it. No, say it. This is Matt Myers reporting. Jessica, say it. Don't be a wuss. Would it help you if I told you you're right?
Okay, but I don't know what I was going to say. Like, I started with finger, and then I was either going to say, like, just like your fingertip or like your fingernail. Yeah.
Fingernail!
Okay, see, I wasn't sure.
You were absolutely correct. Damn it, I'm in highlighter mode. Fingernail thickness.
Oh.
What would you say is a good one for a centimeter? Okay, a fingernail width. See? Why are these good?
Because they're on you.
Because they're on you, and most people are pretty close to the same, right? Excellent. What would you say would be a good one for a meter? 1 step. What makes it hard to do a referent for a kilometer? What is it? It's too big, right? Now this is where I like to have a little bit of fun. Nice, 1,000 steps. Now this is where I like to have a little bit of fun though. I am going to walk, not the way you kids walk, on actual sidewalks, not cutting through the ravine and other people's backyards and crap like that. I'm going to walk from here to the mall. How far is it? This is my favorite question of the day. It shows how utterly lost in measurement you people are. You've got a referent. Let's go. So I've heard, what do we got? What are some guesses?
Okay, Mill Lake is 2.2. No, if you went it twice, it's 2.2. So once
We got 2.5 km. We got 1.75 km. What else? 1.5. What else? 4 kilometers. What else? 2 kilometers. 1.1. All right, Hannah. 0.9. All right. When you Google map it, walking, it is 1.7 kilometers. You guys did fairly well, except for the 4 kilometer person. Not bad. Some of my other guesses, I've had guesses of 6 kilometers. I've had guesses of 800 meters. It's very fun for me to do that particular question. Now, somebody else said, but Mr. Myers, what if I'm really short? Good point. So the kid that said that is a short kid. So I said, well, what would you do? And he said, well, I guess it would be, I can walk to the mall in about 20 minutes. So I guess if it's 1.7 kilometers, it's about 10 minutes of walking. Good job, kid. He chose to refer to another measurement, time, to refer to this. Everybody understand? The point of a referent is it is personal. You know what it is. Everybody with me? All right. Let's go down and do the barfy ones. Imperial. Blech. I hate it so much I don't even want to write it. I don't even like the margarine. Even though I do like the commercial where the crown appears on the guy's head. I don't know, do they still have that commercial? There's a margarine called Imperial Margarine, and there were commercials when I was a kid. When you spread it, it would go bum, ba, da, ma, and a crown would appear on your head. They don't have them anymore, I don't think. I don't watch commercials anymore because I got a PVR, and so I just skip everything. All right. What's a referent for an inch? This is fun. Okay.
Tip to your finger.
Okay. An inch. I gave you guys a big hint. What's inch in French? Pouce. Why do you think?
Wait, like the whole? No.
This part. Just that part. So a lot of people say, or where it came from is the first joint of your thumb. Now, what would you say is the base of the imperial system? Does it have one? Inch, because it's the smallest measurement, right? There's no measurement smaller than inches. Yeah, like this. Okay, so if inch is the base, let's carry on with this. What would be a reference for a foot? This is a hard one. A foot. Nice work. What would be a reference? Everybody knows what a subway is. I used to manage Subway. What's a yard? 3 feet. A yard's almost the same as a meter. 1 step. And what would a mile be? Nobody's good with miles. Nobody knows how long a mile is. Yeah. So 1.6, that's hard to do in your head, right? So what would you round it off to? 1.5. So if 1,000 steps is a kilometer, what's a mile?
1,500.
1,500 steps. Now here's where we get to have fun. If this system of measurement made any sense, there would be a pattern over here, wouldn't there? Sure there is. Let's find out, shall we? 1 foot is how many inches? 12. Well, that's kind of idiotic. Oh, but okay, all right. So that must mean 1 yard must be a multiple of 12, right? If it made sense. What is 1 yard? Is 3 feet, so it's 36 inches. Ludicrous. Well, a mile, that must make sense. No. 1 mile is 1,760 yards. That's an easy number to work with. 5,280 inches, or feet, and I'm not even going to bother with the inches. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think I'm ever going to make you memorize that? No, that's idiotic. You'll get those conversions. Will you have to know how to apply them? Yes, of course you will. And it is 2:20. We are stopping there today. Hazel.
This is going to be my last talk of the day, but
Your last what of the day?
my last talk.
Oh.
I'm being annoying. You self
Wait a minute. Time out. Hold up. Who is the definer of whether or not you were being annoying? I'm just concerned. But if you would annoy yourself, then why would you ask?
Oh, no, but because I have to tell you, okay.
Okay.
Spell system wrong. If it's French, there's an extra E after that.
It's right there. There's an E right there.
I can't see.
Well, now you're annoying.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Hazel. There's an E right there. But sometimes, I just read a study, Hazel, that says your brain works better if you don't print. Your brain works better if you do cursive writing. But unfortunately, most of you can't read that. So I sometimes fall into cursive writing accidentally. Nobody knows why your brain works better if you do cursive, though. That's the interesting thing. They think it's because to do cursive writing, it's kind of like art, and it uses more parts of your brain, so more connections are being made, so your brain is working harder to write cursively, which means you're better at getting information and stuff and thinking while you're writing cursively. Put your chairs up!